All right, guys, this is not your typical FaB story. This story has everything from semi-stolen FaB cards to drunk people to a car crash completely unrelated to the drunk people. This is a wild one, and I want to give a huge shout out to my buddy MoBogsly, huge fan and huge supporter of Hometown TCG, a longtime friend, and he has recently joined Team HometownTCG Ascent. So shout out Mo, shout out him for his recent Proquest win. Enjoy the story, guys, and stick around to the end where we open a gold foil live in this video. All right, guys, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hometown TCG. You guys know me, my name is Josh, and I have a special guest today. What's up, dude?
How's it going? I'm Mark, also known as MoBogsly.
And Mark, also known as MoBogsly, is one of the two newest members of Team Ascent, and he just came off his very first Proquest win. So, congrats, dude. Golf clap.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, do you have it right there?
Ooh, there it is.
Are we gonna?
The prize.
Are we opening it today? Right now? Are we opening it?
I saved it just for you, Josh.
Dude, let's go. And I got my Chicago hat on to show the Chicago representative. We're Illinois guys, and you traveled across state lines to win a Proquest, but you've been practicing for this for some time. When did you start training? When did you start play testing for Proquest season?
So me and John started about a month before the Proquest season started, with Sam, who also won a Proquest. So the three of us started testing a lot.
Sam is the guy who beat John to win that Proquest, right? We don't speak of that around here. We don't talk about that.
It feels good when my two playtest buddies both make it to the finals in the very first Proquest.
That is pretty sick. All right, so you three kind of created a small little pod, a nucleus of playtesters around the area.
Yes.
Okay, and then where'd you go from there? Was it always just the three of you? Did you grow? Did you shrink?
No, and then we grew, and then I got invited to Team Ascent, and they just really took my playtest levels from here to up here. They really improved a lot. So
yeah, dude, those are some good guys. I know you have a connection within Team Ascent from beforehand, and I mean you're such a good player, so it turned out it worked out great. Yeah, have you found that there's a difference between playtesting in your small pod versus playtesting on a FaB team?
100%. Your lines, your knowledge, your decks just improve greatly. It's not just the three of you working on a deck. You have a whole team of ideas 24/7. It's insane.
You guys are really the hive mind, right?
Yes, 100%.
But so not only did your road to Proquest testing start I don't want to say a million years ago because you're old.
It feels like it.
You're not as old as me, but you're old. But it started a while ago. But then your road to a Proquest win wasn't exactly smooth, nor was it
not where I want to be.
No, nor was it untraveled. You had quite the journey. Kind of talk about Proquest season for you. How was that? What was that like? What was your road like?
Yeah, so the first Proquest was the only one in Illinois for me. I was on Viserai, did terrible, 1-3 drop, worst day of my life.
But I got several texts from you at the bar eating food, I thought, with that group.
Oh, that was a great bar run.
Great
amazing
day.
Time at the bar.
Great day.
Good food. Terrible gameplay. I then took a weekend off to go to Nashville, clear my head, watch some outdoor hockey games, just have a great time. And then I made the commitment to go to Michigan for 2 weekends in a row and just try to lock my Pro Tour spot.
Okay, so you went to Michigan 2 weekends in a row to try to find more Proquests. Was it the same area? Was it different area? How many? You went there for weekends. Did you play in just one each weekend, two each weekend? What was your Michigan schedule like?
I drove up Friday night, both weekends in a row. Stayed Saturday, came home Sunday. It's like a 4.5, 5-hour drive each way, so it's a long drive. But I love Flesh and Blood, so you got to do what you got to do.
And you got on the road. You got a decent, a nice cruising car. You got on the road. You got to get some music.
I love driving.
Yeah. It was your car is sick too. You came over to participate in the hometown throwdown here, and when you pulled up, I was like, "Ooh, another car guy. This is sweet. This was awesome."
I came over just to steal your deck. Actually, was the idea behind it.
Oh, are we outing you? Are we going to talk about that? But let's leave that for the end. What about the first time in Michigan? So you played a Proquest in Illinois. It didn't go well. You went up to Michigan. Correct. For your first trip in Michigan. Were you part of Ascent yet?
I was, yes.
Okay.
Yes. We did the play testing at your house.
I know.
I took Prism from you.
held me up against the wall. You bullied me. You
Yep,
said,
yep.
"Give me your deck," and I was like, "No."
I said, give me your cold foils. I'm taking these all with me.
No, you said you don't. This man said he doesn't want to take the cold foils, and I informed him it's a Proquest. You have to flex. Right now is the time to flex.
That is very true. I'm a long time Prism hater. I decided to take Prism with me. I had like, what is it, 4 games on the deck before I went up to Michigan.
I thought it was 3. Did you have 4?
Might have been
Good for you.
3.
Oh man, wow. Look at you. So much
4.
practice.
I ended up top 8ing that first one with 4 games on Prism. Lost in the top 8. So that was rough, but hey, first time on the deck, I'll take it. The second Proquest on Sunday, I went 4-2 and didn't make it on tiebreakers. So that was rough, but it happens.
Okay.
And I drove home for 5 hours and had fun.
It's so the first time in Michigan, you did top 8 the first event. You don't top 8 the second event. Do you think that trip was instrumental in this win? And what did you take away from that first trip up to Michigan that maybe helped you get where you are right now?
So that first trip was basically me learning how to play Prism, learning the matchups, learning Prism more, understanding the Michigan meta, because it's so different than Chicago meta. It's like a whole new meta, whole new players. Don't know their play patterns or anything like that. So it was rough. But yeah, I just had to do it. I was dedicated. So
did you find that first Proquest that you didn't win either of the first 2 that you went to up there? Did you find that there was a hero that like, I can't get over this hump? I know Starvo's kind of the talk of the community. I know you're on Prism, which is the other talk of the community right now. Was there something that you were just like hitting your head against a brick wall, or was it just really reps with the deck?
In the back of my mind, I wanted to be on Chain. I'm a huge Chain lover, as you know, Josh. But I was like, I can't switch Chain. I can't do it. I thought Prism was the best meta choice going into the field, and I was like, I need to learn this deck better. I need to learn how to play Prism. I'm not going to play Starvo, so...
And you didn't learn how to play Prism just like only on the fly. So you're an extremely highly skilled player. You're dedicated. You've ground hours into testing, hours into driving just to go to these Proquests. But you kind of had a secret weapon. You kept on stream flashing this stack of papers. You had a little bit of a Prism secret weapon. Tell the people what you were rocking up there.
Yeah, so Team Ascent member Critical has a 7-page. I'm not kidding. It's 7, maybe 8 pages of deck sideboard guide, matchup guide, everything you need to know about a matchup. It tells you, even if it's as sad as roll over and die. Like, it will tell you what to do though. Like, it's in there.
Well, first of all, don't leak any strats, dude. Other people are gonna know when to roll over and die on Prism now. What are you doing? You're kicked off the team. You're gone. You're gone. But every time you flash that thing, dude, it made me sweat. It was like, and I don't want, not with no religious connotation, obviously. I thought it was like your Prism Bible, because every time you were like practicing or playing, you had this stack of papers, and there was like a secret carry-all that you'd like pull this thing out and right. Okay, and then you'd crush someone, and then you'd go back to the book. It was insane, and you picked that all up in such a short amount of time. Were you reading and driving?
I was not, actually. I thought about getting some extra reading in, but I couldn't.
You couldn't get one of the Ascent guys to give you a book on tape?
A podcast? Oh, my God.
Don't give me a chance to plug a podcast, dude. That's ridiculous. Ooh. Okay,
do you have a podcast, Josh? Is there...
So second trip to Michigan, you wash out, you take my deck, my cards.
Trip. Yes, first trip I washed out.
Oh, sorry, first trip. You take my deck, you take my cards, you show up in the middle of this community of a bunch of Hometown TCG fans, I'm sure, because everyone loves this channel, and then you show them that we don't know what we're doing at all, wash out, and drive home with your tail between your legs. What did you do going into the second trip? So now you're into your, 4-hour drive back up there. You're driving 4 hours to get back to Michigan. Are you feeling some anxiety? Like, this is my last shot. Like, this is it.
So 100%. I was driving up and I was like, this is my last shot. It was like 8 o'clock at night. Perfectly, good roads and everything. And I'm not even kidding. So I'm driving and the whole entire weather turns white. All I see is white. So I slow down a little bit. I do a 360. Black ice, 360.
No.
I never told you this.
What?
Yeah, like, this was like 9 o'clock at night.
You almost died?
I almost died. And my first thought was, as I was like 360 trying to stop the car, I was like, I have Josh's deck with me. If I crash, I have to spend.
You make me sound like I'm a horrible. I wouldn't. I want.
You
I want
break
the,
my knees, guys. But
I want the
anyways,
viewer. No, I would not care. I would worry if you were okay. Decks can be replaced, but so can your kneecaps, and don't break it. Okay, so did that really happen?
it 100% happened.
Oh.
Literally, it's like, you know in Star Wars when they like jump into the hyperspeed?
Oh, of course I know.
It was like perfectly nice night sky and then just hyperspeed. Like out in like split second. It was crazy.
See, even Michigan didn't want you to come to their ProQuest. They're like,
No,
no,
like,
man, stay
it was
out of
a
our
sign.
meta.
In my head, I was like, okay, it's a sign. I should go home.
So how
But I
long did
didn't.
that drive take you? Did you stay in snow for a while? Did you get up there pretty clean?
It was like it was like 30 seconds and I was out of it again. It was the weirdest thing in the world. I don't know how it happened.
It really was
but
just someone trying to smite you. It's the rain cloud following you up to
There was one of the
Michigan.
car on the road with me and they stopped too. Like, what? Like that just happened. Like, it was so weird.
Okay, so life-threatening accidents aside, you make it to Michigan, and you're doing another 2 ProQuest weekend. You go to the first ProQuest. How does that go?
I went 4-2, technically 3-2-1. There was a draw, so I don't make it in there. Whatever, that happens. It felt bad. That felt like, did I really just waste 4.5 hours to drive up here, not make it in, to just bubble out, right? So it felt
Okay.
bad.
And where did you finish? Did you finish 9th on that one? You said you
I
bubbled
didn't
out?
look.
Okay.
I didn't even look.
Just didn't make top 8.
I didn't look. Yeah.
So man, that's got to be a dejected feeling. How do you pick up the pieces? Because you got one more shot here. How do you pick up the pieces that night after that ProQuest?
So I always, whenever I go anywhere new, I go, what's the best place to get food at every place? They told me this hot and spicy chicken place. I get this chicken, go back to my hotel room, eat some chicken, try to forget about it. And then I don't remember. I watched the Twitch live stream of like the streamer awards or whatever. That was cool. And then I
Okay.
fell asleep and I was like, we're just gonna sleep this off. 4 a.m. Some drunk dude was on my door knocking on it. Wrong hotel room.
It was me.
like-
It was me. I was like, I want my tag.
So I had
Okay.
like no sleep that night. Had to drive 2 hours towards Grand Rapids now because I was in like the Flint area.
Okay.
I woke up the next day, drove there, and I was just like, this is my last shot. We gotta really make it happen.
So there's already a tectonic shift, like in your mentality. You know, the first time you went up to Michigan, you came here for the hometown throwdown to get a bunch of reps in with the deck. Then you got on the road as soon as at like what 9 o'clock or something like that, even later.
It was late. It was like I got there like 2 a.m. that night. So yeah.
Yeah. So, but you were not confident because you wanted to play the deck. But now you've transitioned, right? After this other ProQuest, it went poorly, but you're confident enough. You feel like you've got the reps in because all you did was go get chicken and watch Twitch. Like you
That's
didn't.
all
Go,
I could do, really. Like
yeah, you didn't go get extra reps. You didn't try to get some webcam games in or talk. You just kind of chilled. You got it back together. You went. Oh, go ahead.
So actually, that week at work, my laptop almost exploded. There was some exposed wires I didn't see. This was a crazy week.
Dude, you have the most interesting life.
So there's some exposed wire I didn't see, and it caused like a little like spark. It was terrible. So my laptop charger broke. So I didn't have a laptop, so I couldn't test if I wanted to. This was a crazy story, but I promise it happened.
Okay, so you've defied death twice. You've played the deck once, and now you're going into the last ProQuest. Did you make any tweaks between the first ProQuest of the last weekend and this ProQuest, or were you running pretty similar?
So between the 2 Michigan ProQuests, I cut 3 cards and added 3 red prismatic shields. That's the only changes that we made at Team Ascent.
Okay.
And I got like 10 more games in between then too with Team Ascent. So I did learn a lot about the deck in those 10 games though, so it did help.
All right, so you're here, you're at this final ProQuest. How'd you run to top 8 go?
So round 1 was Viscerai. They had a very weak start, and I kind of just took that game over. It was 40-2 at one point, and I almost died.
Oh, so it was an
they dropped me-
OTK strat?
It was not, but they made it work. It was very strange. Like I was soul shielding, blocking out, playing really well, and then they had the triple Revel and Runeblood turn, and it was terrifying. Yeah, Sonata. It was the turn. I blocked the Tunic, went to 1, and I was like, if I don't kill him here, I lose. threw 2 heralds at him, and it won, so that was good.
Well, I mean, that's a heck of a round 1. So you get a scare early.
Terrifying round 1.
Where do you go round 2? Where do you go from there? Where do you get a softball matchup anywhere in here? Come on, man.
So round 2 was Ice Lexi.
Ooh, okay, some spice.
Yeah, it was spice.
You were on Ice Lexi for like a day.
I was on Ice Lexi for 2 matches, I think, and then I kind of put it aside. But that match, I think I won with 17 life yet. Wasn't that terrifying. I did misplay once. I blocked with footsteps, and then they buffed up the arrow up to more than 6. So I lost my footsteps super early that match, but it happened. So
okay, you were able to play around that. What did that game finish pretty clean? You go 2-0. You're feeling pretty good. What do you got round 3?
Round 3 is a Starvo. No, round 3 was Prism, a Prism Mirror.
Okay.
It was the player that lost in the top 4 in the Prism Mirror on the stream.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, how did that... I know you were nervous about the Prism Mirror, something you wanted some more reps in. We didn't have a ton of copies of the deck locally when you first picked it up. How were you feeling? When you're going into this game, you got the Prism Mirror, something you might not be comfortable on. What are you feeling?
I actually felt good. I felt great. So I had 2 Prism Mirrors the day before, and I 2-0'd both of them. I had 2 the week before that, and the one dude taught me all about the Prism Mirror, so I was feeling confident here.
Okay.
Threw down some red prismatic shields, and it just carries it away. Just block those shields, keep them alive, and just poke for 1 every turn. It was pretty simple.
You make it sound so easy, but people like me are going to try that, and we're not going to be able to execute. So just so you know, it's probably a little more than
roll
that.
the dice, win the die roll, go first, win. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
Official Team Ascent advice, and you can get more advice like that from Team Ascent coaching sessions and masterclasses that you can get in the Hometown TCG Discord. But aside from that, so you go 3-0. You go 3-0 then. So final Proquest, your back's against the wall, you haven't won, you've driven 1 billion hours, you've almost died 17 times, the fish keeps growing as the story goes. What happens now? Round 4. Tell us you play a Starvo finally. Finally play a Starvo.
It is a Starvo.
Okay, thank you.
It's a Starvo, and I got the down pair.
Okay.
The down pair. So playing against the Starvo, they're on the Channelmon Heroic build, which is, I think, the scarier build for Prism. Because they can go wider, they can go bigger, they can go tall, like just stronger.
Okay.
It was like 34-8 at one point, and I was like, this match up is in the bag. They had the Channelmon Heroic on the board. I wasn't terrified of it. They awakening me. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of bad. But I'm like, this is fine. They get the one that swings for 14. Pulverize?
Yep.
Okay, so they pulverize. I'm like, oh, that's not terrible. They throw an E-Strike for 7, popping Snapdragon Scalers to give it go again. So that's for 10 total with the Channelmon Heroic. Then they throw Pulverize for, 17? So I'm taking 27 damage already. And then they have like the one from Arsenal that gets go again.
Oh, lightning something?
It was an insane, like 30-something damage turn. I'm like, am I about to lose this match? Oh, and it went on like 4 more. I barely squeaked it out, but it was terrifying.
Are you kidding me? So you were up, what did you say? It was up 34-4 or something like that?
It was like 34-6, something like that. And I was like, oh my God. And in my hand was an ALS, and they got the Pulverize, and I was like, I can take 18 here. ALS on my turn and just secure the win easily.
Okay.
And boy, was I wrong. Oh, boy, was I wrong. I held that ALS, and it was too late by the time
So was it an option in your mind to play the ALS when you saw the E-Strike?
So when they played the E-Strike, I thought I could ALS, but it didn't seem right.
Okay.
I feel like playing an aggressive ALS on my own turn was better.
Okay.
So I stuck with the game plan I had in my head. I had the life to spare, so.
Well, it clearly worked because it sounds like you took that one home, even though your Prism car spun around 3 times and you saw nothing but white in that match.
Like,
okay, so that gets you to 4-0. And how many rounds are we talking? Are we a 5-rounder? Are we a 6-rounder?
5-rounder.
We're a 5-rounder. You're 4-0, so you know you're making the cut. But man, I know you, and I know you want to go undefeated into the top 8.
100%.
What's the final matchup? What'd you see?
The final matchup is Chain that was meant to beat Prisms.
Oh, you were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them, Mark.
So this was a Chain player who just beat 3 Prisms in a row to get to where he was. And I was not feeling good about it.
And it's against your boy.
So he went first. He plays a time snap potion, and I'm like, wait, this is perfect. My hand will get an ALS. So I drop ALS, turn 1. I was like, whatever. Draw back up, drop a Genesis and a Haze Bending, and say go. So I have ALS, Genesis, and Haze Bending before he does anything. And I'm like, this is perfect.
That's pretty good.
And that matchup just got out of control turn 1. So
you know, sometimes it's just like Starvo, man. Sometimes you have it and sometimes you don't. But
sometimes Prism can just high roll you, but yeah.
That's wild. So that takes you undefeated into the top 8. Did you end up with the #1 seed?
I did, yes. I was the only undefeated player at this point, so
let's go. Yeah. So I know, and at this point, I had tuned in, and people from around the Hometown TCG community, as well as Team Ascent, started tuning in to the event, and we saw a very diverse top 8, and we saw you sitting atop of the diverse top 8. So what was the first round in top 8?
So first round was a Starvo that beat me the day before. It was like an hour-long game. It was super tight, super close, super good Starvo player.
Okay.
So I was not confident. I was like, all right, this guy knows what he's doing. I could get high rolled right here. Like, this does not feel good.
All right, so walk us through it, man.
I had a plan. This match, I think, took about an hour and 20 minutes. It was a long one. Way over time, but it's top 8.
It's top 8.
And I pitched my Mercifuls early. I knew if I could get back around to them eventually, I could win.
Okay.
And I honestly, the match was so long. Prismatic shields, again, they're really good in a lot of matchups. If you can keep your shields alive, you can just block out, swing for 5, block out, swing for 5. But getting to that spot's the hard part.
Well, dude,
that's a very grindy matchup.
I'm about to say, you just played an hour and 20-minute single match against Starvo, which in itself is impressive, and you take home the win at the end of the game. I know you said the game went second cycle. You were talking about pitching the Mercifuls, trying to get them to wheel. Was the game close? Did you run away with it?
It was so I was running away with it at the start. I think I was at 34 to like 12 at one point. But then Starvo does what Starvo does. If they get a few of those turns where they just force your hand over and over again, you can lose all control.
Here comes the train.
I think we both ended with 15 cards left in our deck. It was down to the wire. It was anyone's game at that point.
Well, dude, but it's almost good, right? That's the first game in top 8. The blood is flowing. Your mind is working. You're ready to go. You're definitely warmed up. So you get the win. You go into the second game. Who do you see?
My head just goes, don't be another Starvo. And of course, it's another Starvo. The two Starvos in the top 8. Two of them.
Was it don't be another Starvo because you didn't want to go another hour and 20 minutes? Or because you didn't want the fear of getting high rolled?
Both. The fear of high rolling, and so if you don't get high rolled, it's going to be a long match. There's no in between. So it's either super fast and you lose, or you go the full hour and a half and you fight. Okay,
so this one, did it play out pretty similar? How'd this one go?
So this Starvo player drove 8 hours to be here. They drove up. They had a Proquest somewhere else, and then drove 8 hours after their Proquest the night before. I think he said 3 of their buddies top forward that one too. So I was like, he knows what he's doing. This is gonna be a rough match. They presented no way to block Arcane though, so I took that note very fast.
Okay.
So they had Tunic and not Heart of Ice. So I just Merciful was my game plan. I was like, I'm gonna stack Prismatic Shields and then Merciful's in my deck somewhere. Get back to them, make a bunch of shields. You swing at me, you take Arcane back, and that was the main plan.
Well, I mean, it clearly worked, right?
It worked, yeah.
Did you kill him with Merciful?
I don't know if Merciful was the exact kill card. He didn't really get tempo at all that match. He had a turn where it was 3 lightning cards with Go Again in a row that really shocked me.
Wow,
it was the one from Arsenal, Entwine Lightning for like 12 damage, and I was like, oh geez.
Wow.
But yeah.
That's quite the interesting line. All right, man, you take home the win, and then you got, if my math is correct, you got one more match to go, right?
More match to go.
All right,
it's the Prism Mirror, which I'm feeling confident at this point in the Prism Mirror. So
okay, so you get into the Prism Mirror. Is this a Prism player you've played before? A brand new Prism player?
This is not. No, the Prism player I played just got knocked out.
Okay.
So
All right, so how'd it go? You got the Prism Mirror, you got the last match, all of your work. You have been working for this moment for literally months. How did it go?
So
Were you feeling
I'm
confident?
on the play.
Okay.
I'm the top seed. So in the mirror, I'm feeling great going first.
Okay.
My hand, all I had to be was a yellow aura and anything else, and I'm happy. That's all I'm cared about.
All
Look at
right.
the opening hand, no yellow auras, no good attacks. It was awkward. So I remember I threw a yellow aura, I threw a yellow phantasm card at his face. Just say, hey, you know what? If this hits, it hits. If you block, you can't play an aura on my turn. So this is good. Box with one card. And I'm like, okay, well, he can play an aura now. Like, this is bad. So I looked at my hand, and I was like, I have to arsenal this blue aura, which you never want to do. I want to play it out, but if he has a Genesis or something, I just lose tempo so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I pass priority with nothing to attack with, just hoping he won't play anything, assuming I can pop it. I arsenal that card, and then he got tempo early. Hit me with a Phantasm card, played an aura to the first turn, and I was like, this isn't how I want to be.
This is not the
But
strategy.
guess what? Prismatic Shield came out, and it again, you get those Prismatic Shields, you block aggressively, and then you can just slowly take over the game. I remember the one turn, he dropped an ALS, and I don't think ALS is good in that matchup, but I think that's when the tempo changed. He spent his whole turn with one ALS, I popped it for free, and it just felt like all the tempo just came back to me. That was the turning point.
All right, so it sounds like you took control, and I was watching the game. I saw, man, you played incredibly. I want to give you a huge shout out. It not only was a long weekend, it not only was a long several months, it was a long day for you, and at the end of that day, you were sharp, you were ready. It was really cool to watch. The only thing I don't appreciate is getting burned in the final stream. I wasn't a big fan of that, but it was really cool to watch you play.
So I learned with Prism, you should have at least two tokens for your shields, one for attacking, one for not attacked yet. So when someone lends you the deck and gives you one whole token because they can't afford the other, it feels kind of bad.
I don't know if you know this, but YouTube doesn't pay great. Those tokens are expensive. They start to add up, dude. But so no, congratulations. You take home the win, and you were awarded with a sick prize that if viewers are still here listening to what I think is your awesome story, you said you're going to open it right now. And let's confirm. You have not opened this yet.
It is sealed and fresh.
Is it sealed or resealed? I'll let the comment section be the judge. Sealed or resealed. So you're going to open this bad boy right now. Anything you're hoping for in particular, or just the highest value thing?
Gambler's Gloves would be cool. I think it's like my favorite card. I
Is it?
love the art. I want to
Okay.
play Brute, but I can't. So
you're not allowed. The meta does not allow it. Although there was a Leviathan in the top 8 at your final Proquest.
There was.
There was a lot of shout out Ethan Mansant. He's got a YouTube channel. Shout out him. He was in the top 8 and it hosted an awesome stream. It was really cool. So are you really gonna open this thing, dude?
I am. When I made top 8, I messaged you and I was like, hey, if I win, this is going on your channel.
Yeah, when you made top 8, you're like, hey, if I win, I'm opening this on the channel. I said, hey man, why don't you focus on winning first, and we'll get there when we get there.
No faith.
No, I didn't want you to lose your focus. You worked hard for this. Didn't want you to lose focus. Anyway, you take over the show, man. However you want to open this, keep it in frame while you open it. Whatever, it's your show.
Let's do it. Let's just hope this doesn't feel terribly. Oh, it just cuts it in half. Okay. What are we hoping for? What's your guess?
Anothos.
Hey, chat, leave a comment below of what I'm going to get. Is it facing me or is it facing you guys? Let's find out. Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, wait, you saw it?
Well, I saw it. I didn't mean to see it, but that's a good one.
What is it?
Oh my god, I can't open it.
Oh, dude!
The good old Boots, that's playable. I
am super high on something like this because you can keep that and play that forever. We talked about flexes. That fits into so many slots. That's in so many decks, and that's a flex, dude.
That is so pretty too. That is whoo.
Oh man. Well, again, I just want to personally welcome you to Team Ascent, man. I've known you throughout a lot of your FaB journey. We met, playing card games and stuff like that. So I just want to say it's been super great to work with you. I'm so glad that you're part of Team Ascent. I'm so glad I get to talk to you every day. And the win couldn't have gone to a more well-deserving player. Do you have any final messages you want to throw out there to any of your fans that may be watching?
Just hey guys, just keep playing. Like honestly, keep grinding, keep playing. You too could be on this show one day.
It is, your story is from 0 to hero, and then you got to get in a car with me and drive to Indy, and you're right back at 0, dude. You got nowhere to go but up. I'm proud
We better
of you,
win that Blitz event. That's what I'm saying.
What was
Easy
the team?
dub.
Well, hold on. What was the team name? Shout out. Is it Fresh and Buds?
Mm-hmm.
The podcast, Fresh and Buds podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What was the team name? Do you remember off the top of your head?
Are
you gonna search Twitter and just wait? No, that's fine.
Team Motown Buds.
Yeah, Team Motown Buds. The gentleman who runs Fresh and Buds came up with that, and wow, what a name! I saw that on Twitter today. I was like, you deserve a content creator medal just for that name. It's incredible. We don't know what we're running. We're gonna build decks on the way down there. One of us is gonna one hand, the other one's gonna use a foot on the pedals, and the other appendages are gonna be used to build decks. It's gonna be great. All right, if you got nothing else to say, again, thank you guys for hanging out so long. Again, make sure you check out, I'm going to link Mark's YouTube channel in this video's description. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel. We're going to try to get him to 100 subscribers. So if you go over there and you click sub, come back, leave us a comment, let us know you subbed. He puts out some awesome content. And until next time, you guys know me. My name is Josh.
I'm MoBogsly.
And we will see you around. And you got to do the YouTuber camera thing, like cover your camera with your hand like we're cool guys.
Oh, we got to like high five?
Woo.
I went way too far. Oh.
Oh.
That's so...